Yeah, I'm Morris May. I'm a CEO of Speculative Theory.
Talk a little about your background in virtual reality.
Sure, I've been working in virtual reality for about 2 years now, so since the very beginning, but my background was in visual effects for film, so I had a background in stereography, panorama photography, visual effects, compositing, game engines, mobile app development, so I kind of had all the backgrounds to do virtual reality when it came out, so it was a pretty easy transition to me to go from the visual effects world to a virtual reality world. It wasn't too difficult.
A lot of the early things we've been seeing with virtual reality, especially from Oculus, has been video game related. Talk a little about what it opens up for filmmakers to be able to tell stories from a first-person perspective.
Yeah, I mean, that was my idea. It's just you'd see a story from one person's perspective and then you'd see it from another perspective and you'd see that same story again. I think that's a good use of virtual reality. But again, my background in visual effects was able to kind of understand that and kind of make these stories happen. I'm a big fan of cinematic, of course, just because, in the amount of time it takes to build a game engine and 100 models and characters, like Rose and I shot this in a day, we watched some footage back. The ability to create lots of content pretty quickly is incredibly exciting, and so to use this as a storytelling tool to make film is kind of what my objective is now, more than gaming or modeling type endeavors.
But gamers are very familiar with that first-person perspective, whether they're playing shooters or third or adventure games. Talk a little about the element of a lot of the early adapters for Oculus are gamers and what they will get out of watching something like this from a first-person perspective.
I think they're going to take to it really naturally. They're used to seeing things through a first-person perspective. They're used to running around, they're used to interacting with characters, so they're going to take to it incredibly well. It's going to be an amazing medium for them.
Can you talk a little about your film here?
Yeah, so it's called Perspective, Chapter 1, The Party. So what happens is you become a character in a film, and you watch a series of events happen, and then you become a different character, and you see that same event happen again. So the ideal long-term goal of the piece is that you learn about different people's perspectives from seeing their different perspectives throughout a story. So this is a little bit one-sided since it deals with a sexual assault kind of scenario, but as we move further on the pieces, it's like any great film, you say, who's the bad person, who's the good person? Well, when you do it from the good person's view, you feel like you're the good person. When you do it from the bad person's view, you maybe feel like you're the bad person or the good person there. So your perspective change is based on how you see a story and what character you play in that story. So it's that sense to really immerse you in the story and let you feel like you're a character. And you learn about different people and how we interact in the world by becoming that person.
You guys are showing this on SDK2. Talk about Crescent Bay and what that would open up for something like this project.
It's kind of like a game changer. It's kind of like hurtful to watch it in DK2 at this point. It's kind of painful. I can't even watch it. It's just painful for me to watch just because just our camera technology is completely different now. I mean, I look at this thing and I'm like, oh my God. It's, 3 months in VR space is, what, 3 years, 5 years? I mean, it's embarrassing that the frame rate isn't right, the resolution. So the technology has probably doubled since we shot this 4 months ago, and it's probably doubled again in our latest test. So we're gearing up for that kind of technology. But as you know, Crescent Bay, I mean, you just think you're there. We're really close to true presence. So not I'm looking at a television monitor, but you just believe you're there. That's the goal, and that's going to be an incredible storytelling tool for everyone, just to really feel like you're there, not I'm looking at a fake world. And we're right on the cusp of that, and I'm sure that Oculus will deliver that.
We've seen a lot of games, a lot of interactive demos for this, but what does it mean for Sundance to have VR around here and for Hollywood to get a taste of this technology, what it can do?
I can't be more excited. I mean, I have to hats off to Shari to put together an event like this. This was probably one of the most important things I've done, I think, in my career, just to be able to be a part of this. We created this piece for New Frontier, and with her guidance, she paired me with Rose, which allowed us to kind of make this piece. So, I mean, the greatest storytellers in the world are Sundance, independent storytellers. There's no major market for this right now. It doesn't exist. There's no store, there's no way to sell them, there's no way to make money. So it's the independent filmmakers and the people that love this that are going to go to it. And same thing, independent game makers will be the first to adapt it and make those kind of stories. So to be a part of this and have, we had the head of Sony come through the other day. I've never seen storytelling in VR before, and I've never even tried the Rift before. So to have the access to those people has been an incredible opportunity for us. So we're incredibly excited to be here. I have to thank New Frontier.
The only way to get these today is to go directly through Oculus and get one of those kits. But with Sony and with Facebook's purchase of Oculus, what do you see for the mainstream VR moving forward?
Well, I think the cardboard will be huge. I was a little skeptical at the beginning of cardboard, but a few hours with it, and I was like, this is pretty darn good. So I really like it. I think it's going to be a gateway drug. People are going to try it. they're going to get hooked on it and go, you know what, I need something a little bit nicer. I'm going to purchase a DK. I'm going to purchase a consumer release version of the Oculus Rift. But it's moving so fast, it's hard to even keep track of. I think there'll be 40 headset manufacturers. Obviously, Oculus with the incredible lead over the competition. I think we're going to see a lot of people jumping into the market. It's going to be really exciting.